Well, when Leader McCarthy said just that and announced he was pulling out of the January 6th commission, he was essentially speaking for all but a handful of his fellow Republican members. Moments after Speaker Pelosi rejected Congressman Jordan and Banks, I spoke to two-term Congressman Lloyd Smucker of Pennsylvania. He said this proved what a lot of us felt, that it was a partisan witch hunt rather than a fact-finding mission, and he fully supported pulling out of the commission, the result eventually taken by Leader McCarthy. Now the questions start. In theory, Speaker Pelosi's 8 members, that is 7 Democrats and Republican Liz Cheney of Wyoming, could proceed with their own investigation. If that's the case, it would add further to the friction and rancor between the parties in the House of Representatives, and its report would immediately come under fire from the Republicans, no matter what it said. On the other hand, if she simply said there will be no January 6th commission on the part of the House, her own membership, particularly the younger, more progressive wing, will be upset with the Speaker, who, as Leader McCarthy said earlier, is a lame duck and almost certainly will be stepping down in 2022. So right now, it's a showdown and the parties are eyeball to eyeball. This reporter's conclusion after talking to members is it doesn't look good for any kind of a commission. Back to you.
Thank you very much, John. We appreciate it covering this breaking news for us. We continue to monitor what's being said there as the news conference continues. But in the meantime, to talk a little bit more about this, let's bring in former New York Congressman Peter King. Congressman King, thank you very much for joining us. What do you make of what McCarthy had to say there? He said, you know, amongst other things, this is the people's house, not Pelosi's house.
Yeah, I have to agree completely with Kevin McCarthy. And listen, I believe there should be an investigation, a full investigation. But what Nancy Pelosi has done by knocking the Republicans off, let me tell you, from a strictly political point of view, she's given a gift to the Republicans because she's shown that she never intended this to be even-handed. She was never interested in searching for the truth, that it was just going to be a partisan witch hunt. So in many ways, she's actually helped the Republicans, but she's hurt the country because Kevin McCarthy put very qualified expert questioners on the committee representing the Republicans. That would have gone a long way to giving some respectability and credibility to this committee. But Nancy Pelosi, I guess she's giving in to the far left of her party or somehow feeling dictatorial. But what she did here is really unprecedented. And I've never heard of a speaker or a leader knocking off somebody off a committee from the other party because they don't agree with them. So this is wrong, absolutely wrong.
Unprecedented, but does she have, obviously she has the authority to do that?
Well, the legislation that was passed setting up this committee gave her that power.
Okay.
And I saw that at the time, and I thought that maybe that was just put in there for show. I never thought she would actually carry it out. And especially because Kevin has put on, again, very qualified people, but he's the leader of the Republican Party. Generally, the way it's always been in all these committees is that the leader of each party selects who's going to represent the party on that committee. And even though this was a special law that she had passed, or a special enactment, which gave her this power, it's still an abuse of power to do it. And it's going to set a terrible precedent going forward.
And it's interesting, and I don't know if we have a full screen of the 5 members that were chosen. You had Congressman Jim Banks and Congressman Jim Jordan, who she did not approve. They did vote not to certify the election, but also Texas Congressman Troy Nehls moved to not certify the election, but she let him through. And then you have North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong and Congressman Rodney Davis, who did vote to, in fact, certify the election. So her reasoning behind this, I'm wondering about as well.
I just think partly because Jim Jordan is so vocal and so well known, she thought that he would steal the attention away from the Democratic members. I mean, I'm not saying this is a partisan. Jim Jordan is head and shoulders a better committee member and questioner and interrogator than anyone on the Democratic side. I mean, you put Jim Jordan and Adam Schiff up one against each other, it's not even close. But also, though, you take someone like Rodney Davis. Now, he's had quote unquote allowed him to stay on the committee, but he's the ranking Republican on the Government Administration Committee. He again knows the House Administration. He knows again how it works. Banks is I don't know Jim Banks that well because he came to Congress after as you know, around the time that I was leaving. I know he's a war veteran. He's extremely highly regarded. He's a head of the leading caucuses in the House. So no, Nancy Pelosi is wrong on this. It's wrong for her. It's wrong for the Democrats. It's wrong for the Congress, and it's wrong for the party. It's wrong for the country. It really is.
We're almost out of time, but just one more question, because John Gizzi did say that they could move ahead with just the 8 members that Pelosi chose. That would be 7 Democrats, and then, of course, GOP Congressman Liz Cheney. Do you think that would be a wise move, and is that what they'll do?
That's what she's going to do. I don't think it's wise. I think it's going to hurt the Congress. It's going to hurt the Democratic Party. Mostly, it's going to hurt the country. It's just the wrong thing to do. Listen, I believe there should be a full investigation of January 6th. Nancy Pelosi has totally ruined this whole investigation.
Yeah. All right. Well, Congressman King, we really appreciate you joining us with your insight today on this breaking news. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.